Hi, my name is Jessie Dupree, and I did my project on B.F. Skinner. Does anyone know what WTF stands for in regards to behavior? It stands for what's the function. Skinner studied behavior and determined that changes in behavior are a response to events or stimuli that occur in one's environment. In short, if we figure out why the behavior happened, we can then manipulate the environment to stop or produce the behavior in the future. Who is B.F. Skinner? Boris Frederick Skinner was born March 1904 and died August 1990 of leukemia. During his life, he was an American psychologist, a behaviorist, an author, an inventor, and a social philosopher. His most famous experiment took place in 1984. He conducted an experiment using rats. He placed the hungry animals in a Skinner box, also known as an operant conditioning chamber, and discovered that he could teach the rats to press a lever to gain access to food.
Right when I start recording and camera shy.
As you can see, he's quickly catching on that if he presses the lever, he gains food. What is his theory? Skinner is best known for his influence on behaviorism. He introduced the theory of operant conditioning, which played a key role in helping psychologists understand how behavior is learned, why reinforcements are so effective in the learning process, and how schedules of reinforcement affect the outcome of conditioning. There are three principles of operant conditioning. Number one, reinforcement. A positive action equals a positive reaction. Punishment. A negative action equals a negative reaction. And number three, shaping. The process of teaching how a desired behavior equals a desired reinforcer over a gradual period of time. How to apply operant conditioning in the classroom. There are four types of operant conditioning. The first is positive reinforcement. The goal is to teach new behaviors or reinforce positive or desired behaviors. An example would be a student who lines up quietly receives a sticker. Number two is negative reinforcement. The goal of negative reinforcement is to teach a positive or replacement behavior. One example would be when a student blurts out an answer, the teacher ignores him, but later when he raises his hand, she calls on him. Number three is positive punishment. When a student refuses to complete an assignment, they have to stay in and complete it at recess. The goal is to decrease the chance of negative behavior in the future. And number four is negative punishment. An example is if a student is talking to a peer during a test, the teacher may move the student to the back of the room away from peers. The goal is to decrease unwanted behavior. Let's play a quick game. Let's see if you can decide which operant is being used. The first example is a student is continuously throwing paper balls across the classroom to the waste bin after you've asked them to stop. You give them a write-up. This is an example of positive punishment. The second example, a student follows directions and you let them choose a treat jar from the prize jar. This is an example of positive reinforcement. You're right again. The third example, a student keeps yelling for a turn and you ignore them. You're going to choose students with their hand up until the first student raises their hand for a turn in which you call on them. This is an example of, correct again, negative reinforcement. And the last example, a student gets caught stealing and you send the student to detention. This is an example of negative punishment. Perfect job, guys. I want to leave you with some words of wisdom. These are quotes directly from B.F. Skinner. The first one is, a failure is not always a mistake. It may simply be the best one can do under the circumstances. The real mistake is to stop trying. And the second quote is, it is a surprising fact that those who object most violently to the manipulation of behavior nevertheless make the most vigorous effort to manipulate minds. I think these are great quotes to remember whenever you become a teacher. These are the sources that I used in my presentation, and I hope that this encourages you to want to learn more about B.F. Skinner and operant conditioning. Thank you.